Guys, today's session is going to be strictly about PowerShell. I just took a class that my students asked a lot of questions, and I'm just feeling that there may be somebody out there who also need this knowledge. That is the reason why this is put together. So if you are new to this channel, my name is Joseph. I am a Microsoft certified trainer, and today I'm going to just be introducing you to PowerShell because we want to use PowerShell in Microsoft 365, and that's the overall goal of this series. Okay, so PowerShell can be described as an execution platform that is built on the .NET framework. It's actually owned by Microsoft. It's actually put together by Microsoft. Yeah, that's how we can describe it, right? It's an execution platform. So there can be two areas when you talk about PowerShell. We can say, let's say it consists of two areas, which is the command line and then the scripting language. Now, how do you open PowerShell? If you are on the Windows, the later version of Windows, say Windows 10 and above, you are going to have PowerShell installed in your system, in your PC. But if you are using the older version, say 2007, Windows 2007, or you are using Mac or Linux, you would have to install PowerShell. So how do you get to PowerShell? You just type PEW and then you have PowerShell showing up for you here. Now you have two ways that you can open PowerShell. You can open PowerShell as an administrator. Already, if you need to look at this, you have PowerShell ISC, that is integrated scripting environment, and then you have Windows PowerShell here. I'm going to show you the two of them and show you the similarities and the difference between these. If I double click on this, then it's going to open an interface for me, and this is PowerShell interface. Perhaps when you open yours, it's going to be like this, right? No, not this actually. All right, so just leave it this way for now. When you open PowerShell, it's going to be like the environment you see now, maybe something like this, right? Where up here is like it takes in text files. You can type in here, you can type in get hyphen. We'll talk about this later, and then you can also come here to type in the same thing, and then it will also respond to you. This is PowerShell ISE, integrated scripting environment. There's another PowerShell that you can see here, this one here called Windows PowerShell. If I click on it, then you are going to have this interface for you. The same thing, but it's not going to be giving me autocomplete or auto suggestion feature because this a particular PowerShell does not have that feature. Okay, now let's look at so I've been able to tell you that you have maybe two types of PowerShell that you can have, in your PC. One is the Windows PowerShell if you are using Windows, and then the other one is PowerShell ISE, right? Now, there are two ways again that you can open either of these two. I want to be working with the PowerShell ISE. It's actually the same thing, but I see the ISE is more user friendly, so I want to stick to that on this video. Maybe in subsequent videos, I may be able to also use some other version of PowerShell just to prove that same thing. Now, let me look at PowerShell. I'm typing it out again and I'm seeing that I have PowerShell ISE. I want to open this. I just click on it and then it opens. Now, for this, you see up here it's showing me window PowerShell ISE times 86. But down below here, you are seeing PSC backward slash user backward slash user, right? I have just opened this PowerShell as a user of this PC. Now let me go back to PowerShell again, and then I want to open this time as an admin. So I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to run as an admin. Now it will ask me yes, I'll click on that. If I have admin right, it's going to open that same PowerShell for me, But this time, if you look at here, up here, you are going to see administrator, right? And then if you come down here, you're going to see PC Windows System 32, right? It's not going to be showing you anything other than what you can see now. So you can see from here that the basic thing that is here now is there's difference between administrator and there's difference between end user, right? Now, there are some commands you can run as an end user and you run them successfully, and there are some other commands that you can only run when you open the PowerShell as an administrator. You're going to be seeing all of those, as we go on. So to looking at it, let's say that we want to do get. Can we go around that? No, maybe we'll talk about the built-in features in PowerShell. Now, we've been able to open PowerShell in ISE, and we've also been able to open PowerShell as an end user, right? Let's now discuss some basic things around the features that PowerShell has. PowerShell has built-in help that if you need help regarding any command, you can request for help, get help. Then it also have pipeline where you can use pipeline to what pipeline does for you is to help you use it is used actually to run many commands at a time, but sequentially, where one command, the output of one command forms the input of the other command. And the symbol for pipeline is actually this symbol here. Let me type it up here so you can see it clearly. It's just this symbol here, this one. Let me bring up my what's it called, on-screen keyboard, right? So you can see how that looks like on screen keyboard to see where I want to type my pipe. I hope I'll be able to see it. Shift, then this one here. All right, so this is the pipe symbol, this one up here. So if you click your shift and then to activate this for you to type it, let me just do something here and see. Let me space and then shift and then I'll type this. That is my pipe. So this pipeline, what it does is actually helps you just so you can run command line sequentially, where the output of one command forms the input for another command. Okay, so now looking at all of this, don't get confused. Okay, I'm trying to just build a background around how you use this. So the features that you can see in PowerShell, you have the built-in help. You can get help for you to understand how things work regarding commands, and then you can also see pipeline like I just described, and then you have what is called aliases. Aliases in PowerShell are actually alternative name to some commands. So there are some commands that have alias, that have an alternative name. Where when people run those commands and they use those words to describe these commands, you may get a little bit confused on what exactly are they talking about when they write CLS, right? So we are going to see all the aliases that are available on PowerShell. Like I told you earlier, if you are using older version of Windows, or if you are using Mac or Linux, you need to install PowerShell. Now we've seen how to run PowerShell as an admin, and we've seen how to run as a user, and then we have also seen the types of PowerShell that you have: the PowerShell interface, you have the ISE, and then you have the Windows PowerShell. So we are going to be basically concentrating on the admin and the end user PowerShell. Now, if you look at these two here, I want to do away with these so that I now have these two. This one is the administrators open. Look at it up here. It has the admin rule, right? If you look at the top right left hand corner here, you see that this has administrator. And then let's look at this other one. This one does not have any admin rule. It's just PowerShell IC, and down below here is just users, right? Now I want to look at what a user can get. Let's say a user wants to run a command. All the commands that are in M360, that are in PowerShell as a whole. What will it do? It will do get hyphen command. And then you need to know that I told you earlier that the PowerShell consists of two parts. I mean, you can call them two parts here. You can call them the command line. It can be command lines for you to run, which is what we are doing. Command line, they call it cmdlets, right? Or they can be scripts, right, that are put together. Now, if you look at this get command, I am using small letters all through. If I hit enter, then you find out that something is going to happen now. Now it's listing out all the commands that I have, right, in PowerShell. All of them are loading up, and then it will soon finish. You can see all of them here. So if I want to maybe copy all of these, Control C, and then I bring out my notepad. Remember, I am running this as an end user, and I Control V this. I'm going to have all of these, right? You're going to have, let's just take it to the top, and then let's see. These are the commands. Um, this is the command I ran, get command, and it's giving me add package, add this, starting from A. Then if I scroll down, it goes to B to C, complete CS online telephone number, and then if I keep scrolling, you keep seeing disable. But one thing, anyway, let me not go that route first. Let me still come back to this place to explain something to you. I'm going to do CLS down here. Now, I also want to type the same get command here, get hyphen command up here. If I type get hyphen command up here, I have two options to run this. You look at this one here is going to run everything for me. If I have more than one script on this white surface, this text editor, and click on this, it's going to run everything. But let's say I have another command here, get hyphen, let's say alias, right? Let's say I have get hyphen alias. If I do this, which is F5, it's going to run both get command and get alias, right? But if I go to this one, which is F8, run selection, it means that it is only the line that I have my cursor blinking now that is going to run for me. So this one runs all, and this one runs just the line that I'm interested in. Let's say I want to run this one, I can click on this and it's going to run just this for me. But if I just go here and click on this, it's going to first of all run the first command, and then it comes again, it's running the first command now, and then it comes again to run the second command. Okay, so just be very careful so that you don't go and click here when you actually meant to click this one. Okay, now having said that, writing commands in PowerShell is actually not case sensitive. Now, let me do, it's actually not case sensitive. Let me do get hyphen command, all in caps, right? If I hit this, it's also going to do the same thing for me. Just hold on. Oh, yes, it's doing that for me, right? It's doing the same thing for me, listing out all the commands. Just make sure you follow what I'm trying to say. It's listing out all the commands. If I come back here and I also say get hyphen, then I do command. I am mixing up let me even do this last one as just to show you that it is not case sensitive. It's going to also run for me. Just look at it. Now it's going to run for me. And then the next thing I want to show you right now is CLS. If I come here, I have a lot of code run up here, right? If I come down here, I will just do CLS and my screen is going to be cleared off. Okay, everything is now wiped off. Now, what is CLS? CLS is actually an alias that is used in PowerShell. Now, let's say, for example, you want to say you want to understand the CLS, right? You use a command called get alias, get hyphen alias, get hyphen alias, and then if you hit on this again to run this command, it's going to give you all the aliases. And then let me go to that CLS that I ran earlier just to confirm what that means, right? CLS, look at it here. It means resolve host. I just hold on. I'll show you very quickly. CLS here. It means resolve host. Can you see it? Now, just say I want to, so if it means that CNSN is connection PSS session, then copy means copy item, then CP also means copy item. So if I use CP, it means copy item as alias to this, right? So if you kept seeing this on commands, you should know what they mean. Let's say, for example, somebody used DEL for you and you don't know the you don't know what DEL stands for. You can just come and say get hyphen alias and then you space and do DEL. Then you come and run this and then it's going to show you that DEL is an alias, is a command type, and it means remove item. DEL stands for remove item. Let's say somebody used WJB for you and you don't know the meaning. It's just also very simple. You can just come here. Let me even clear this. We're talking about WJB, right? Let's do CLS here. CLS. And then let's come back to this place and say get alias WJB. I think that's what we saw there, right? So let's hit on go this way to show us that WJB means read, you know, wait wait hyphen job at an alias. And then another thing I want us to look at, you see, we are running all of this get command as a user, right? Under user. So I can either run here, run the command on this line, or here. Now, let me do get command again. Get hyphen command. And then if I type here, the only thing I need to do is just to click on enter and it's going to give me the same thing that we are getting. Now there are some things I want us to get from here, which is very important to me that I need to explain to you when they say PowerShell commands are written in verb noun order. Verb noun order. Now I think I have all of this initially copied to my notepad, right? You look at it, these are all the commands when I run get command, right? You look at this, add is a verb, then app package is a noun, right? If you also check by scrolling down, when you get to the next letter, which is going to be disable, you will see disable is actually a verb and physical disk indication is actually a noun. Now if you come down to, you have get command, get is a verb and the other ones are noun, right? Now there is set command down below here, set. So what I'm just trying to tell you is that the PowerShell commands are written in the order of verb noun. So the commands are named according to verb noun naming standard. So it's usually in this form. Okay. Now, having said this, I want to compare two things. What can an admin run? Why would you have to, run your PowerShell as an admin when you want to carry out some tasks? After all, we've been with the user's end. From what we can see here, this is open as a user, right? User, and everything is going on well for us. CLS, and then it clears. Now we can also do get history, get hyphen history to see all the commands that we have run so far since we started this call. So all the commands that we have run so far, we did get command, CLS, get command, get alias. All of these are the commands that we have run that were successful since we started. If I had done, let's say, get alias, I forgot to add the hyphen, get hyphen after the action is actually, you're actually supposed to bring in an hyphen. Let's say I just hit enter here at this point and then it's going to throw me error. The term get alias is not recognized as a commandlet. Now, this is not going to be captured when I do get hyphen history. Okay, it's not going to be captured. Oh, it's even there. That's good. I never knew. So get alias, that the command that also failed actually is going to be captured in the history as well. Oh, I just saw this. Now that's good. So get history shows you everything. So I was saying something that how would it be that we are talking about you opening the PowerShell as, so okay, we're going to say what's the difference when you open PowerShell as an end user from when you open it as an administrator. Now for get command, right, get commands are just for you to see what is available. But when you want to make a change, for example, there are some things you want to do. Let's say you want to create. If you want to create, you use the command new. If you scroll down here, you're going to see new hyphen CS group policy assignment. You see this are to create new policies. If you are open that if you have opened PowerShell as an end user, you cannot use, you see the grant command. This is to assign policy. The new command is to create policy. The set command also does the same thing. It changes something, right? So if you are signed in as, if you have opened the PowerShell as an end user, you will not be able to run some, you will not be able to run command that will impact changes. You may be able to run the commands that can show you what is available, what is currently set by the admin. Now let's see how that works. Now that we are here, let's do let's run CLS just so we clear our screen. Now let's say we want to do get hyphen execution policy, just to know. Now execution policy is actually permission levels that are set on your machine that gives you is actually a security consideration that allows you run codes on your machine. Now get execution policy, look at it, it's telling me it's unrestricted, that is currently here. There are different execution policy. I can share a link with you regarding that. I guess I have that somewhere. Let me check. I think I had it somewhere. Let me just quickly type that out. Right. Execution policy sets. What's that? What's that? Sets execution policy. My network got disconnected or something. Just give me a sec. Let me quickly put that in order. Um, okay. Okay, so let's hold on for my network to connect back in a bit. All right, I guess we are good now. Okay, so this is execution policy. Let's see how many are available that we want to just, yeah, I'm going to put this on the description. So I just want to play around three execution policies. Is either you enable scripting in your machine or it is disabled by the admin, right? And then if it is enabled, let's look at something. Let's just do, we're already doing we just did CLS here, right? CLS again. And then we are doing get hyphen execution policy. And showing that it is unrestricted. Let's say we want to do set hyphen. Remember, this is an end user, right? But we are going to be saying set execution policy. And then let's hit enter to ask us commandlet simply value for the following parameter execution policy. Let me put it at remote signed. And then you see what it's going to tell me. Are you going to accept all? Say, okay, the execution policy help protect you from scripts that you do not trust. Changing execution policy might expose you to security risk described in the above execution policy. You know, this is going to make a change, but this is an end user, right? So let's now see what's going to be the state of this when we run it at as an end user. Yes, say yes to all right here. Now look at what it is saying. Set execution policy, access to the registry key. It's saying this has no access to the registry key because he is opening this as an end user. Let's say as a support engineer, you were supporting a customer and you only discovered this error, and look up here and you see that this guy is not running this as an administrator. You quickly have to tell him to run as an admin. So let's go to where we have the PowerShell open as an admin now. Now we want to do get execution policy, which is what we have already. Execution policy, and then let me do this, and then it's telling me it's unrestricted, right? Now I'm doing, let me just run the next line, set hyphen execution policy, and then I hit on enter. The same thing I did with the end user, right? But this time around, look up here is admin, and look at where you have window PCS Windows System 32 is opening as an admin, right? Now I now want to put it as remote signed. I hit enter. It asks me the same thing. You want changing execution policy? I'll say yes. Then it's going to change to remote signed. Let me now do get again. Let me again do run get execution policy. You'll find out that it's going to tell me that I'm now remote signed. Now, if I want to do set execution policy and I now do unrestricted, that is, I want to make sure that nothing is blocked. Now I click on go. It will ask me the same question. I say yes. You see that it is running through successfully. If I come back to say, okay, let me get execution policy here, then it is now unrestricted. If I want to set execution policy back to, maybe I want to put it in restricted so that no script can be run, I just go here and I remove this because I'm an admin. To ask me, I'll say yes, and then it runs. If I go back to get execution policy, it's going to give me restricted. If I want to set it back to unrestricted, I just run this script and it asks me if I want to change. I say so. What I'm trying to tell you right now is, if you are signed, if you open the PowerShell as an end user, there are a lot of limits to what you can do. All right, you can't make changes, you can only view what is available. So if you want to do commands like set, like new, like grant commands, they are not going to be working for you because you have opened it as an end user. I know this is actually something that is common to some people, but some other persons this is a bit strange, right? If you have questions about this, I am just out there to see that I render, assistance to people. Let me just go to my LinkedIn page just so you can see me on LinkedIn and see if there is anything you want me to help you do regarding M365 especially. I'll be happy to come on the screen sharing with you just to assist you. And if you have any projects too that you want us to execute together, of course, I am always open to working with people. So I'm going to be releasing several and couple other videos in line with this PowerShell because I'm jolting towards M365 usage and PowerShell, as you know. So I would want you to stay tuned so that you don't miss out of anything. If you have any question regarding what I've just done, you may need to drop that on the comment section, or you can send that to me as a DM on LinkedIn, and I'll be happy to assist you. So thank you again for this, and I hope we are going to enjoy this journey together.